Good morning, shut-ins.
Yo, 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 yo.
How's everyone doing today? Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to the moms. And
Oh, today is Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day to the
Happy Mother's Day.
to moms who tried to have kids and can. And happy Mother's Day to moms who aren't with their kids today. And happy Mother's Day to
Happy Mother's Day to the
everyone.
single moms out there. I see y'all working extra hard
Morning,
to take
Scott.
care of them children. Keep doing your thing. I got love for you as a single man, and I admire you.
All of their hard work and dedication. Today's tie is up here, Balmain, and I want to show it to you guys. So it's kind of cool on this side, right? But check this out. Pin-up girl eating a banana.
Today's
Check that out.
Today's lotion is that's an old tie. That looked like a tie that was made back in the early 1900s, doing a Great Depression tie. That's what that looked like.
Back when they first had colors.
Yeah, it looked like they couldn't really. They didn't have all the colors yet. They just had the main ones. Today's lotion is brought to you by Exhale. Because I'm ashy as hell. I need some lotion.
Good morning, Dan, Sheila. What's up, Fico fam? Heather Marie Brown, nice to see you here today. Happy Mother's Day.
Hey,
Happy Sunday.
Sheila. Good morning.
How's everyone doing today?
What's up, Dan? Dan the man. Christelle said, I'm coming by later to drop off something yummy. For free sake, Eric, get it together. Don, I'm trying to. Just give me a second. It's been a while. It's literally been 24 hours since I've been on, so I'm a little exhausted.
So today we're going to do another... Thank you, Heather Marie. I appreciate it. What's up, DJ Stenny? DJ Stenny on Twitter, we appreciate that because that, you being on there, actually, it helps. We'll get a few more people on there.
DJ Stenny.
DJ Stenny, say hi to Johnny Two Socks over there if you see him.
Yeah, Dan funny. Dan said, did someone say single mothers? Let me lotion up on camera real quick. Yeah, right. Yep. Hey, I'm just doing the mothers. I'm just doing all the single mothers out there a great deal by giving y'all this lotion up.
Dan knows.
Hey, we gotta take care of our single mothers out there. Because the mothers that's already taken, they already taken care of. You feel me? So, the moms that's already married and got boyfriends and stuff, y'all good. Y'all got a significant other. Y'all good. Somebody gonna be giving y'all something today. But the single moms out there, we gotta make sure they get their love too. You feel me? They need somebody to show them some love. So that's what moi is here to do.
So we appreciate everyone joining us on a Sunday. We hope you're having a good day so far. Hey, Avril.
Avril said, happy 50th show.
I know, it's kind of crazy, huh? 50 shows. It's been a minute.
Half a century we've been living.
Been a minute.
Ooh. Scott said single moms have sexual needs too. Good morning, Rayanne. Happy Mother's Day to all the wonderful moms out there, she said. Good morning, Amanda. Today's a big deal, 50th episode.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome, isn't it? The big 5-0, the half-century mark.
Chris Alberdale.
Chris Aberdale. What's up, Chris?
Who's that? What's up, Chris? Chris is laughing, said Eric will take up the single mom's call. Yep, you're right. Yep, I can, you know, I should throw a single mom's thing, Um, I'm just trying to give, everybody some love. That's it. I'm trying to be that replaceable. I'm trying to be that significant other you can put in a spot today if you needed one. So, anybody out there need a significant other to wish them happy Mother's Day? Sometimes I charge, but because it's Mother's Day, I'll give a discount on all. I got like a list of things I can do, for you guys. You guys want me to play, play house. I got a price for that. I can't give the prices on here. It's a quote, so you gotta, send in your email, all that good stuff. But I do give quotes though. I give, my quotes ain't too bad. I try to keep them. Today's contest is win a date with Eric, single moms only. Okay,
what do you think about that?
That actually sounds like a good idea. I do it for the single moms out there, for real.
What about the
bad thing.
What about the not so single moms that are
they
just looking for some company?
Why would they look for company from me if they got a significant other? And they've been quarantined up with them, so
they want to
enjoy your significant other.
They want to add you to their quarantine.
Nah, I can't do that. I'm not finna be third wheeling with another guy. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. I mean, if it's a mom out there with a girlfriend. Third wheel to that. I switched over to Facebook so Matt can watch with me. Hey, Christelle,
okay.
wait, hold on, Christelle. We got rules when you want to do.
We need both views.
We need both views, Christelle. So you tell Matt to get on his phone and turn it on and do whatever it is he got to do. Irva said, "How you gonna tax that?" I don't know if I tax. I mean, it's Mother's Day. I guess the taxes. Wait, no, taxes don't never stop. Yeah, taxes apply because taxes apply to everything, right?
But you're already part of the transaction anyway.
When have we ever had a tax day off?
How are you going to tax yourself?
I'm part of the transaction, so how am I going to tax myself?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's different ways we can work that out.
That transaction is tax exempt.
There's ways we can figure that out. There's some write-offs we might have, depending on,
We appreciate everyone out there.
I don't
watching.
consider myself a single mom because although my ex-husband and I aren't together, he's mad active in our kids' lives. Well, that's dope. That's how it's supposed to be. Shout out to him doing his due diligence. Don't be slacking, my brother. Oh, good morning, Jodi. Third wheeling with another guy, I'm cool with that. Who said that? I ain't say that, Christelle. Yeah, Mike said that.
Mike's been tippity tapping.
Mike said
over here.
Mike said if he need to bring 2 ties, let him know.
These ties only need 2 hands. Yeah. 2 ties. That's it.
What's up, Jen? Warren,
and happy Mother's Day to the cat moms.
Jen Warright. Good morning. That's an awesome way to look at it. Good for you and the family. Way to make it work. Shout out to Chris showing Amanda some love. Saying that's an awesome way to look at it. Good for you and the family. Way to make it work. Yeah, he better be getting you something for Mother's Day too, Amanda. Because if he don't, why you over here, gassing him up all in the comments and stuff? Now, if he don't get you nothing for Mother's Day, you better make sure you tell us that. Don't be holding out. And we over here gassing us and, all that good stuff. And then we need to know the updated info tomorrow. If he got you a Mother's Day gift, where he take you out to eat, what happened? We need to know. Rebecca said, hey guys, 50 days in. It's people recognizing day 50, huh? Now it's time for y'all to start paying up. What about cat moms? Miss Paradise, I don't know about that. I don't think that counts as Mother's Day. But if you wanted to, sure, I count myself as a dad. I just don't, tell people I'm a dad, but
Cheryl, my
did you guys make Sharon
my mom is otherwise indisposed of this morning. She's busy. She's got some stuff.
We woke up 30 minutes before the show, so.
But also she's.
We could have made some breakfast, but it wouldn't have been much. It would have probably been like.
It would have been really bad.
Some cereal.
Not really bad, but
some cereal.
Some old cereal. Some really old cereal.
Yeah. Okay, Amanda said him and my son bought me fried lobster yesterday, and my son already spilled the beans. He got me a ring with all my kids' name and birthstones on it, and my last kid ain't even his. Okay, shout out to him. That dude is dope. That dude is dope. Rebecca, it was so good. Oh my gosh, more than I dreamed of. What does that mean? June, you just made your own blueberry pancakes and you didn't make us none? That's cool.
Who did?
And don't be trying to use that it's Mother's Day and that we ain't supposed to. No. If you made blueberry pancakes and you commented in the comments, you better be making them for all of us.
Taxes.
Plus taxes. So that means
Plus
you
syrup.
making.
Plus syrup.
3 months no haircut. Can't shave my head due to the fact it looks alien form. DQ, it's alright. I got alien formed head too. Get that banana, dude. Whoa. Don't be hyping. Look at one thing you don't do is hype a man up eating a banana. That's something we do not do in the comments. DQ.
Maybe it's Mother's Day. It's this show. It's the 50th show. Maybe we're making banana jokes. Well, I'm the one.
Christelle says she's bringing us food in a little bit. We'll tell your significant other to make sure he log on through his phone. Otherwise,
in the car.
Otherwise, we're gonna be coming for his.
One of you needs to still be watching.
Yeah, we're gonna be coming. For him.
Eric still is ideally. He prefers vegetarian.
Yes, I do, Christelle. Keeps me from getting bigger.
And I prefer 0 vegetables, which is great.
But get Mike some vegetables because it's good for him. And the reason why he be getting like headaches and stuff is because he don't get the vegetable vitamins that he need.
And also,
he's laughing playing the game. Oh no, he's supposed to be watching us in the morning. His game time is not.
He needs
during our time.
He needs to at least listen to us. Tell him he can have us in a tab.
No, it's all good. Let him play the game. Mike finna hack his computer. Mike know the computer stuff. We finna hack into the game, and we finna force our way in.
I remember back in the day going over somebody's house for like their party, and I wanted to join their Wi-Fi, and the dude got like a little like, oh, what's the matter? You can't figure out my Wi-Fi password? Like, and so within 10 minutes, I had figured out his Wi-Fi password, and I changed it, and I locked him out of his own Wi-Fi for about an hour.
That's messed up. Damn.
I don't know. Just share your Wi-Fi password. Don't make me change it.
They were guessing.
I didn't have to guess. I hacked that shit. I want to do it.
Good morning, Sarah V. How are you? I was Googling tearaway dress shirts for Mike's charity tie trick.
Ah, okay.
He don't need a tearaway dress shirt. He actually tear the shirt. Y'all think this a game? Mike is strong.
Like Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, them buttons can't hold him close. You think them buttons can hold him? You crazy. They just buttons. They ain't no
Snap those right off.
ain't no zipper.
So let's start the contest.
Oh, contest.
So the contest today is going to be the same stuff that we had yesterday, which is it was a lotion bar, and I think I have pictures that I'll try to bring up, but y'all might remember. It's really good. It's a lotion bar. Which is CBD. It's THC massage oil, and also a bath truffle. And Scott, I don't know if you still have it from yesterday, Scott. The line that we had from yesterday with Sheila's contact information.
Scott said probably don't button it and use clothespins. That's what he's talking about your shirt. When you're trying to rip it off. Make sure you stick your chest out too. You gotta do it like that. You gotta make sure you put some chest in it.
But then everyone's gonna see my Kushroom tattoo.
Then a tie. The tie, you gotta fling the tie up first. You gotta go. Hey, you guys like this? I was hoping somebody said something about it, but nobody said nothing about it. You guys see this? Do you guys see this? This right here? Do you guys see this? Do you guys know what this is? Anybody know what this is? Do you know? Do you know? Do you know what this is? Do you know? Do you know what this is? It was a gift given to me yesterday, hey, and I love it, I love it. Okay, there you go. Joey P, what up, baby? Joey P. You said in the house, baby, what up? Shut-ins. Pocket watch, no clue. Is it your ring? Pocket watch. That necklace is dope. Show me your ink. Put it closer. It's a watch. Yes, it's a pocket watch. I got a friend gave it to me. Look at it. Oh shit. Hit my elbow. Can you guys see it? I gotta put it closer for you guys. It's a pocket watch. But it has a cannabis thing on it too, as you guys can see. Show you my ink. Oh, I gotta take my shirt off for that, girl. You gotta pay for that. That costs. You gotta pay for that. Nah, I got a little ink. You know, just a little bit, not too much. A little bit. A little orange. Got a few tattoos. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I'm about to get some more though. I need to get. Then put it in your pocket. Alright, Vanessa. What is this design in the front? It's a cannabis leaf. This one is a cannabis leaf. As you guys can see, it's a cannabis leaf and it goes over. Vanessa, I understand it's a pocket watch you put in your pocket, but I ain't got pockets right now. And I wanted everybody to see it, Vanessa. If I would put it in my pocket, you wouldn't have been able to see it. Huh. Psh. What's up, Benjamin? You're the Flavor Flav, but tasteful. Well, Christelle, don't be trying to hit on me. You know Mike right here. Don't be doing that. You don't have Mike try to fight me.
No, it's
You don't be having Mike try. You
Hey,
know,
look,
Mike.
if
Mike
you guys,
like
if
Mike.
you guys work
look
it out, that's cool. You're gonna have to.
Look at
She's
after
got a
this
boyfriend. Though.
after this show, Mike gonna
Ben.
be like, "Yo, don't be hitting on my sister on camera no more. I don't care if this show. I shut it down." That's what. I really usually people pay me for eat. I own a shop. For real? You do tattoos? Stop lying. You don't do no tattoos, Amanda. Because I needed some work. I've been talking about getting my whole body done. I'm about to get 90% of my body tattooed. It's going to take a while, but I'm going to get it done. Mike don't approve of it, but hey.
I approve of it.
I'm about to get like my fingertips and get my eyelids. I'm about to get like 3 face tattoos. No, I'm playing. You know, face tattoos. I thought it was just a timepiece. I love charm. I know, right? It is nice. Ladies, who says Joey P should produce Eric Martin Jr.'s first record? The next Tony Bennett. Ooh, okay, Joey. You know I got the vocals too, my brother. I come on there and hit them. Ooh, ooh, say does that star spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave. Wait, do y'all remember the Fergie? Y'all remember when Fergie did
Wasn't it really bad?
the Star Spangled Banner for the basketball? It was an all-star game. Oh my God, that mess was hilarious. She was like, what did she do? She banner yet wave. What did he say?
Yeah, she really messed it up.
Banner yet wave. That mess was the funniest. I know y'all. Yeah, my voice went out when I hit the free. It went out because I ain't drink no water. I ain't drink enough water this morning. And so, when I don't drink enough water, you know, people who got real good vocals, they gotta like, you know, drink a lot of water and they gotta prep for it. I ain't really prep for it. Somebody y'all like caught me in a good singing mood. So it's like towards the end of the show, I'm a little more, you know, in it. So y'all can get that. But I did my song was better than Fergie's. Somebody said my singing froze the show. Oh, that's cold. Y'all just hurt my feelings with that comment. my singing didn't hurt the show. It didn't freeze the show. If my singing freeze the show, it didn't freeze the show. Stop lying. Y'all messed
You made
up.
him speechless.
Yeah. Thought my singing was good. So you saying that at the end of the show every day when I start singing the show freezes and y'all ain't been saying that? That's cold. Cardi B in the audience on that clip. It's called being more in voice. See what you did there. DJ Stinny said it really did freeze, I swear. Alright, DJ, we don't need your I swear. It's cool if you agree, but don't be like.
He doesn't have to swear.
Yeah, don't
Keep
be
it
like
clean.
confirming it. Yeah.
It's a family show. It's Mother's Day. Yeah. Shout out to DJ Stenny and Mary Palmer.
But it did. It froze right as you. Alright, everybody. I understand it froze. Can y'all like stop? Y'all hurt my feelings.
Oh yeah, it did freeze. It did freeze, guys. So.
This is bullying.
No, it did.
Bullying at the finest right now.
It did totally freeze there for a minute. They're right.
Exactly. Christelle said it right. You're a star. Don't let anyone dim your light. See, Christelle might just win the prize just because of that.
That Portuguese roast sounds good.
Got a Portuguese roast cooking today. Bomb ass pork and potatoes with some ancient family recipe secret sauce. Y'all are welcome to come by and indulge after the show or bring the show with you. That's interesting.
Good morning, Pearson. Thanks for
I don't eat. meat right.
So, by the way, I'm excited because Pearson is gonna interview some vets.
Pierce, my dog.
Really excited. And Ben, shout out to the Talking Dead. You guys need to follow the Talking Dead. They have a show at least. I thought it was like every 2 weeks, but they've been doing a whole bunch of stuff, and they have a lot of fun content. You guys should go check them out.
Joey P said, "Don't worry, Eric. Once we drop the record, we'll freeze the world. We'll have the last laugh." That's what I like to hear.
So,
shout out to my dog.
We totally appreciate all you guys watching. Let's get the contest going.
The Russians are watching.
I had mentioned it's the same stuff as yesterday. I'm going to try to bring up some pictures in a little bit, but it's a bath truffle. It's really cool. It's a bath truffle, which is CBD. It's a lotion bar, which is also CBD, and it's massage oil, which is THC. It's like a basket. I don't know if it's in a literal basket, but it's like a figurative basket. Those 3 items for you if you win. And the Talking Dead is Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So you guys should definitely check them out. And Rodney's gonna start doing a cooking segment at least once a week. We don't maybe even twice a week. Deliciously Dope TV.
Oh.
And add him on Instagram, but that's going to be coming soon.
Oh, you should just call it Deliciously Dope, so then the nickname of the show could be Double D.
He is, and I think the TV is probably because somebody else has Deliciously Dope on Instagram.
Oh, we'll just say DDTV. I just made you a whole show, bro. I think you should. I should get some compensation for that.
So we're gonna have. By the way, we're gonna have Green Nurse Jodi, Chapin, and Nate Andrade come on with Green Nurse on the Grow shortly, and then we're gonna have Eric Schwartz come on. And Eric Schwartz is an activist. I want to make sure I get his byline right.
What is going on in the comments? What is this? First of all, let's pause.
We have a French friend.
Our brother needs to not be putting his "What's Up" number.
The solution is special. I can read a little bit of French.
Whoever in the comments, read that for us, because we don't understand. I know I don't understand what he is saying. Call the number. Blow the number up right now.
Call his WhatsApp. Everyone call his WhatsApp.
Everybody call his WhatsApp and say, "Get off the show."
Well, it sounds like he needs some help with something.
I'm making a baked apple pan. What? Dang, Christelle, you hooking us up?
It's a French recipe.
That spam already translate. Hello, everyone. I am very happy to give you the testimony of a great master or a master. Many of you have the problem of the spouse left for various reasons. No more worries. The solution is the master specialist to resolve your problems of the return of affection and this forever. The master made very happy.
So we're gonna have Eric Schwartz come on at 11:15, which is really cool. He's been doing a whole bunch of work in Massachusetts, advocating for.
Why'd you hide his number? You shouldn't have hit his number. You should have blew it up, actually.
Eric Schwartz has been advocating for farmers' rights within the legal cannabis industry, because if you think about it, like, farmers can grow stuff, and so it makes sense that farmers would get access to be able to take part in the legal cannabis industry if they wanted to. And it hasn't always really been the case. It hasn't been easy for them. So he's been doing a lot of amazing work in Massachusetts, advocating for farmers and lobbying and trying to help to get things passed in legislature to that would help to benefit farmers, in the same vein as other groups of disenfranchised people ideally have folks fighting for them too. And sometimes that's the case, so sometimes that's not the case. So we're excited to have Eric Schwartz on. I've been trying to get him on. He's super busy these days, but he is making some time for us today at 11:15 to come on and just tell us what's going on. Because it's good for all of us to know who's out there fighting for stuff.
Somebody named CBD Whistleblower just followed me on Instagram.
Ooh.
Who's the CBD whistleblower?
It's probably
a rat.
Well, a rat in the CBD, but maybe they're blowing.
Wait, can we take a moment and talk about 6ix9ine? Because this is hilarious. Now everybody knows 6ix9ine is a troll, and what he did is hilarious. I'm sorry, but it's funny.
For those of you that don't know, 6ix9ine was the rapper that ratted everyone out and went to jail.
And
just
got
got out
out
of
early and made a bunch of money.
He just came back and he basically
Took over the world.
immediately went on Instagram and got a few million people watching him.
He broke the record for most viewed YouTube in 24 hours.
Did he?
Yes. He had 43 million views in 24 hours.
Jesus. That's stupid.
He broke the record for most views on Instagram Live. He had 2 million views, which shattered the record. The last record was like 500K. He had 2 million live. That dude is the ultimate troll.
So, and thank you, Scott, the superfan. So we do have a charitable effort going on where we're raising money. The money goes directly to buy fresh produce from local farms. The farms are typically holding themselves to higher than organic standards. Although not all of them, they don't necessarily label themselves as organic because, and thank you, Eric, for the byline. So anyway, we're using this money to buy farm shares from local produce farms and getting all of that produce out to people who are hungry and need it. So there's a link right now that you can donate some money to that. All of that money is going to go directly to food. And the cool thing is that we're doing some cool giveaways. So everyone that donates any money, every dollar that you donate is an entry. We have some really cool prizes that we're giving away, and the prizes are actually growing. So one of the prizes is a sweet pair of Air Jordans. They're black with a green swoop. If you win, you get to pick whatever size you want. Another prize is going to be a cool CBD item from Hempt, which is Ralph Greenberg, which is an awesome CBD store out in North Shore, north of Boston. And we had a few other people that reached out to us, and they want to give some prizes too to help to encourage folks to donate some money that will again go right to support local farmers. So we're supporting local business and then taking that food and giving it to people who are hungry. So I don't know. It's really cool. We raised almost $1,000 so far. We also had some folks that are going to be donating. I think we have 2 other farm shares that are going to get donated in total. So that's basically somewhere around like $1,800 worth of local produce that's going to go from farms out to people who are hungry. So we're really excited, and a few people actually reached out saying that they actually need the food. So we're psyched to be able to get it directly to some folks that want it. So if you have it in yourself, feel free. Irva, thank you. Irva's going to be donating as well. Thank you. I didn't want to misspeak and say you were when you weren't, but Irva will also be donating. So that'll be an additional thing, and we'll do a raffle. So right now, I think it's just under $1,000. If we have $1,000 donated, that's like 1,000 entries. We'll do the whole random thing. You'll see us pick the numbers, and we'll do a bunch of giveaways. And if you don't win, that's okay, because the money you're donating is still going to feed hungry people. And by the way, it's like the produce is generally better than what people are getting at like Whole Foods. So we're super psyched just to be able to get that out. So anyway, today's giveaway, which I'm going to struggle to bring up the pictures. I had them yesterday. I just got to find them. And I'll show them later, but it's a bath truffle. It's not even a bath bomb. It's like better than a bath bomb. It's a bath truffle. It's a lotion bar. Those 2 are CBD, and then it's also massage oil, which is THC. What's the contest today? Let's get it going. Or okay, I'll pick it today. Actually. I want to pick it today.
I just want to talk about that Francis Ngannou fight. Whoever watched UFC yesterday. Who watched UFC yesterday? Because that boy knocked him out.
Let's see, what,
Ooh, we hit him with a mean one. Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
let's see. What will win today's prize? What should we have people do? Let's say, it's Sunday. I didn't watch it.
It's a Mother's Day thing. We gotta do something with Mother's Day.
Okay.
All you mothers out there, tell us what we should do.
Qatar won, by the way. Qatar won in the second
Shout
round.
out to Calvin Qatar. That dude's a beast.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he hit him with a mean elbow. I got a video I can show y'all real quick. Let me see. Somebody sent it to me.
Well, if you send it to me, we can actually show it on the thing, too. What will win today's giveaway? Oh, and by the way, if Avril and Nate and Jodi, if you're listening, come on in.
Yeah. Can y'all see?
Oh yeah, you can see it in the window.
Bing, boodle bop, beep bop, boom bam. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Get up, get up, get up. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, nah, watch out. Yeah. What bing, bing, boy. What's up? What you want? What's up? What's up? What's up? What the? Beat a boop, pow. What's up? What's up? What's up? That's my dog.
Compliment challenge. Oh, Amanda, you know what? I like that.
Compliment challenge.
Yeah.
Best compliments to us?
Yeah, but today I'm yeah, and well, all right, so here I get the contest. We're going to combine a couple of ideas here. So you're going to compliment a mom and you're going to tag them. So you're just going to say a nice thing about a mom. You're going to tag them in the comments. The mom is going to win. So when you tag somebody and they come in and they're like, hey, what's going on? You can be like, hey, say something nice about me and maybe I can win. So you're actually winning it for a mom out there. And y'all know some mom somewhere that you might want to win this. So there's no excuse not to tag a mom and say something nice about them in the comments. So that's what it's going to be. Okay? So, and it can be funny, it can be nice, but like it's basically like, you know, get a mom into the comments and say something nice. And it can be kind of funny, it can be complimentary, it can be and by the way, remember there's lots of different kinds of moms out there, right? It's not just some moms are with their kids today, some moms aren't with their kids, some moms lost their kids. All right, so like everyone, just remember, like there's lots of people that deserve something nice to be said about them today. So compliment a mom, tag them in the comments, and that you can win a mom something nice today. It actually is really cool. I'll bring up the pictures, but trust me, they're beautiful. And I really am going to bring up her contact information because the really nice lady deserves for here we go. And the pictures are actually pretty lovely. So, by the way, the place is called Peaceful Potions. And I believe they're out of Wareham, Massachusetts, but they will deliver stuff to all y'all. Oh, there it is. Scott, I was just about to do it, and you're so much faster than I am. So, And let's see if I can bring up these pictures real quick. And then we're going to get over to Nate and Avril.
I entered the contest. Y'all check out my comment. I just entered the contest. I'm trying to win.
Oh, did you?
Look at my comment. Everybody look at my comment. I tell you, I'm entering today. I'm trying to win. I'm trying to win.
All right, I'm going to flash. So this is the lotion bar, everyone. I know this is kind of dirty, but I just want to get it up there so that y'all can see it.
I'm trying to win.
And then we have, that's it wrapped up. And these are the bath truffles, which are pretty sweet.
I'm trying to win. I'm trying to win.
So that's what you're trying to win. You're saying you're tagging a mom. That is who's going to win. So, and it's really awesome stuff. So yes, tag them. Let them know how much you appreciate them. And again, there's lots of different kinds of moms out there. So y'all should tag lots of people. Tag anyone that you think would appreciate it.
I'm trying to win. Who gonna help me win? I got to go to work, guys. Take it easy. Have a nice day. Have a nice day, ladies and gents. All right, my dog Joey P, the hype man. I'm gonna miss you, my brother. Have a good day at work.
So, Jodi and Nate are running a tad late, which is totally okay. And that's all right, because what we're going to do is we'll get ready for Eric Schwartz to come on.
We gonna get ready. But who seen the UFC fight now? Come on.
All right, yeah, let's talk about that.
I ain't even... Nobody watched it. Nobody watched nothing. What's up? Tony Ferguson. How y'all feel? He lost. My dog lost. Nobody know fighters out there. I know we got some fighters out there.
Did anyone watch it?
I know we got some fighters out there. Yeah. I know we got some fighters out there.
So in about 10 minutes, we're going to have Eric Schwartz, who's the co-founder of the Farm Bug Co-op. And he's out there fighting for farmers' rights in Massachusetts, which, for those of you that don't really pay attention, might sound a little like, oh, farmers' rights. But we all know that farmers don't make money in the first place, and the legal cannabis industry was an opportunity for lots of people, including farmers, to be able to do some cool stuff, and farmers kind of got the short end of the stick. A lot of people did, but farmers also did. So Eric Schwartz is out there doing some really cool work, trying to make sure that farmers have representation in Massachusetts and that they're not forgotten. Because, a lot of these farmers are just doing produce farms. They've been losing money for years. We all know it's not a money-making thing. You don't.
So everybody got high and did something other than watch USC last night. But we ain't watching either, so because we was definitely having a good time. A good time. I got entirely too high last night. I missed everything. Sorry, I got high and watching Annie. What is Annie?
Annie's a movie.
I know fighters
Musical.
I don't watch.
Annie was an orphan, little orphan Annie, little redhead, and she.
Annie, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay, Annie?
And she won over the heart of Daddy Warbucks.
Are you okay, Annie? Annie, are you okay? Everybody know that part gets you hyped when he hit that. You be like, woo, woo. Michael Jackson was a bad, bad man.
I know that I'm not a mom, but I would love a steak and cheese sub today. I'm feeling really steak and cheese-ish.
Scott said I didn't watch. Scott, why didn't you watch, man? This live view better than Facebook. Okay, so we got some people that like the ghetto view. We got some people,
Oh, really?
they like the ghetto view. Okay.
That's because they can see the bad side of my haircut. The awful side. So don't forget about today's contest, which is you're trying to win a nice little gift basket for a mom out there. Remember, there's lots of different kinds of moms. So you're just gonna, in the comments, you're just gonna say something nice about them, that person, and tag their name. And if we like the comment, then that person that you tag is gonna win.
What? Amanda said, disclose your location. I'll send food. Uber Eats.
Well, Amanda, we will disclose, but not
Sure,
not publicly.
Hey, I give you my location anytime, Amanda.
Oh.
Obviously for the Uber Eats.
So is Amanda gonna like wrap herself up and have herself delivered to you? Is that the deal?
Excuse me? Excuse me?
Little Uber snack.
Excuse me?
Uber
Amanda,
snack.
you gonna Uber Eats yourself? Cause I'm hungry.
So yeah, and you know lots. So
Cause I got high. Cause I got high.
remember, say something nice to
Da.
say something nice.
Oh, Jodi said
About a mom.
Megan is not only a great mom, but is also a nurse who helps mom deliver their babies with me. She's also my apprentice. Oh wait, what does that say? What does that say? Apprint. What?
Where are you looking?
Jodi.
Oh.
I should be using big words all the time.
Yeah, apprentice. She's also my apprentice.
My apprentice, green nurse, helping change lives by educating others on benefits of cannabis. Oh, Jodi. The Insta view, I like it too. Well, thank you, Rebecca. I'm glad you like the bootleg version. See, everybody ain't for the professional look. Some people like the ghetto.
Yeah, they like that because they
Camera going
see
in and
stuff
out.
that we don't want them to see.
Should I wrap myself like a gift or a snack? Hold on now.
It's a tough decision. You can't just decide that, like, you can't just decide to.
So a gift means that I'm gonna end up playing with you. It's not like.
No,
But a
so
snack means you're edible.
a gift means you're gonna unwrap it, and a snack means you're gonna snack on it. You're gonna nibble
I
on it.
don't know. I think the snack is sounding a little more better. I love to eat now.
What about a snack that's gift wrapped? Can't that happen? Well, put a little bow on that snack.
Well, I mean, what was it, the edible arrangements?
It's getting a little warm in the chat.
Ooh, heating up. Hey, look at it. I like gifts or snacks. I prefer snacks because you know I love to eat.
So we love all you guys for joining us on Mother's Day, and we hope that you're having a good morning.
Angela said, "Oh, Amanda Joseph." Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Oh.
So today, remember, we're going to have Eric Schwartz on in a couple of minutes, who's the co-founder of the Farm Bug Co-op
My dog E.
here in
Schwartz.
Massachusetts. And he's a cool, hard-working dude who tells it like it is. I
Tells it like it is.
always appreciate his...
He always look different every time I see him.
Does he?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't know why. Like, I feel like his identity changes. Like, when I see his pictures and then I see him, I'm like, that's not the same person.
He's,
I think it's his beard or something. Didn't he have, like, a big beard or something?
no. I don't... Not a
Or
big-
he wore...
He's got stubble, usually.
Something. Something makes him different. When I see his picture and I see him, I was like, huh? Oh, and shout out to Avril Andrade. She got her hair did yesterday, hey. And Nate didn't respond to none of my messages, so you know what that means. He loved the hair. Avril got her hair done. She was looking good. Nate was like, I'm not responding to nobody today. Don't hit me up. My wife is looking good. Shout out to Jen, Keith's wife. Hooking Avril up. Nate, she the cop. Nate was like, "Yo, no farm tomorrow. We at home all day. Kids gotta go. We at home all day." Come on, Nate, get in the comments. And tell us. I know it. I know it. You ain't responding to none of my messages. I was disappointed. A gift you bust open and a snack you eat. Whoa, 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 whoa. Rebecca.
Rebecca's like, go
you
for
need
it.
to watch your mouth, girl.
Bust right into that. See,
need to
Ruben,
watch your
thank
mouth.
you for entering the contest. That's actually very nice. That's very
Truly,
sweet.
to
Ruben
the
knows how to
world,
do it.
you are a mother, but to me, you are the world. What? Ruben came in with the heat.
He came in swinging.
Hey, can't nobody beat Ruben right now. Ruben said, Julia, to the world, you are a mother, but to me, you are the world. Y'all can't, hey, you can't get no smoother than that in the comments. You can't get no smoother than that. I'm
But they
sorry,
should try. They should try that.
my fellas, y'all lost.
Everyone should totally be trying.
Ruben is set for tonight. He ain't got to do nothing else.
Enter the contest. Tag somebody that you want to win today's contest. Tell them how awesome they are.
Ruben ain't got to do
Thank you,
nothing
Cheryl.
else.
Thank you, Cheryl. That's an excellent entry as well.
He won comment of the day.
And there's lots of people who are watching that they deserve to have somebody say something nice about them too. So for those of you that are in here, make sure you say something nice about each other in there.
Say something nice.
Enter each other. Make
By
sure you're all in
the
there.
moms. Y'all see, I even had to comment.
And I get it. You're doing it for somebody else. Maybe that's why not a lot of people are entering right now, is because they all want the prize. We're missing some people in the thing today. We're missing a bunch of people. They must all be busy.
In the chat?
Yeah. There's a lot of our regulars aren't here today. And I see everyone who is here, and we appreciate you guys. But
Ruben came with that heat. I don't care what nobody say.
yeah, Ruben. Although I gotta say, Charles is very nice too.
It is, but it ain't what I felt something in Ruben's comment. I felt like he was talking to me for a second. I'm not even a mom. You feel me? Appreciate that, Ruben. I'm glad you think I'm the world. I wouldn't be here without you, my man. I wouldn't be here without you. Woo. Probably one of Ava Andrade looks after all you fools. LMAO mother. That was a good one, Derek. Straight to the point. Takia, is that how you say it, Amanda? Takia Russ, probably one of the strongest moms I know. And she's a teenage boy. You know, she has a teenage boy. She's raising into an amazing young man. That was a good one now. I don't know. You got some heat coming in. You got some heat.
So shout out to Derek and Amanda and Cheryl and Faye. Faye, thanks for watching. We appreciate all you guys watching. So there's y'all, don't be shy. You just gotta tag somebody in the comments, say something nice about them, and you can win them an awesome little prize pack. We're going to have Eric Schwartz on in a couple minutes. He's the co-founder of the Farm Bug Co-op. And then we're going to have Jodi Chapin and Nate Andrade come on.
Oh, I was trying to win yesterday, Scott. I wanted you to like a comment for me on Instagram. That's all it was. When I asked you for that favor, it wasn't nothing serious. I was just trying to win some stuff on Instagram.
Some spices, right?
Yeah, I was trying to win some. I was being fat.
Spicy to
I was
spice.
trying to win some stuff. Some food stuff. Ooh. Keisha Loveday, cause she that true. Why
Tanya,
you
happy
using
Mother's
big
Day,
words?
Tanya.
What's that word? Trin,
Tanya, Tanya.
trin. What is that word? TRINI. What is that? What is that? What does that mean? I don't know. On Amanda Joseph, she's that Trini. Trini mom. Is that what it say? You don't see what I'm talking about?
Oh,
Amanda,
yeah.
the second one.
Oh, she's probably a Trinidad mom.
Trini like Trinidadian. Oh, because she's that Trinidadian mom who kept the belt handy even though hers is grown. But for real, she's a great one. Also, she was whooping ass and taking names. Ooh. We had the mom that had the belt. Shout out to the moms with the belts. Who kids ain't gonna never forget that whooping they got. Yeah, you got that one scar that ain't gonna never heal. Man, be 40 years old, like, yeah, man, mom told me up. She hit me this one time, I messed up.
Hurt so bad.
Averill said Monica probably won't be able to get on here because she's busy taking care of her little soldier, Super Shawnee, who is struggling with a critical brain tumor. But Monica is a true super mom. Shout out to Monica. Rebecca said Angela, awesome mom, and her first time joining us. Oh, hey Angela, first time joiner. Averill Andre, because she sent me that awesome jam. Hey. Yeah, so Francis Ngannou knocked out Buddy. If y'all ain't see it, Buddy got Dube. It was interesting seeing it though, because it was all quiet and stuff. So you can actually hear every hit. Boys is getting tagged. King King. I'm into that violence. I'm into the violence. And of course, my little buddy Hunter mom, Nikki Peets, who's getting ready for Hunter's fourth open heart surgery. Shout out to Nikki and Scotty too. Staying strong. Let her stay strong.
Eric, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Awesome. Give me just 1 second here.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. What's up, E?
How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are really happy to have Eric Schwartz on the show today. Eric is the co-founder of the Farm Bug Co-op, and he does a lot of...
Just Farm Bug Co-op, my friend.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought that's what I said. I must have said something.
Sometimes people put the at the beginning.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah. On screen, it's just co-founder of Farm Bug Co-op, and he does a lot of amazing work here in Massachusetts, fighting for the rights of farmers. So we're so happy to have him on the show today. Eric, thanks for joining us today.
Sure, no problem. Thanks for doing the show, Mike. I've been catching it as much as I can, being the COVID lockdown dad with a 4-year-old and a almost 2-year-old. So I'm doing my best to keep up with your work.
Oh well, we appreciate it, and I know how busy it is. It's interesting. A lot of folks think, for some folks, being sort of shut in at home sort of freed them up, and I think for other folks, especially people with kids at home, it suddenly seems to maybe have felt like it's a little bit busier. I can tell you that when I had my children young, sometimes going to work was like leaving the house sometimes it felt like the break. You know what I'm saying? Like it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's getting out of the house that's the toughest part, to be honest. Because they're around your legs and whatnot. You know what I mean? So at
Right.
least at the age they're at. So yeah, no. Thank you for your sympathy, Mike.
Yeah. No, I know a lot of other people that are sort of in a similar boat, I think. So, Eric, I know you definitely have been keeping busy. You're definitely somebody who's out in the community being uh, very vocal about the rights of farmers.
They be getting us mixed up all the time, Eric. They be like, "Yo, you Eric Swartz, what's up?" I'm
Oh
like, "Yo,
yeah,
I'm not Eric. I'm not that famous dude. What you talking about?"
that's I got no problem getting mixed up with you. No problem. But we look a lot different, I would say, though, right? So
You know what? And they was saying that, and I was like, you know what it is? The only thing different about us is you wear glasses. That's it. And I was like, I don't understand why.
Yeah, that's about
I
it.
don't see
Right?
no difference between us. We the same person, bro.
Yeah.
So all you people out there listening, just understand we got the same name and we do look the same. The only thing difference is he wears hats and glasses. I don't. So if you ever want to know which one is the real Eric Schwartz, glasses and hat is him.
I'm actually only wearing the hat because I haven't showered yet, guys. It goes along with the COVID dad thing. But yeah, no, Mike, I'm happy to jump into it as far as what I don't know what you want to talk about specifically, but I did present in front of the Cannabis Advisory Board on Monday, so that might be something folks could be interested in.
Yeah, why don't we talk a little bit about that?
Sure, we can jump in there, and then if you want, I can kind of give you just also an overall landscape of kind of what I've been working on for like 3+ years now, quite honestly. But so yeah, specifically on Friday, I presented with another fellow entrepreneur, Sohiko Ono, who's out of Pittsfield, Mass. I don't know if you guys know him at all, but they have their provisional for, I believe it's a tier 10 outdoor. And then I think they're working on some indoor greenhouse space as well. And so our presentation of the Cannabis Advisory Board was around the current microbial threshold protocol. And basically what's kind of happening is the protocol is set very high for microbes, but it doesn't distinguish between essentially pathogens and beneficial microbes or beneficial bacteria, if you will. So what's happening is a lot of outdoor flower that is completely fine to consume for the consumer, actually healthier for the consumer, in some cases, is not making it to the shelves. And so what's happening is there's an extremely high failure rate for outdoor cannabis in terms of flower. And since there's different standards for like distillates and that sort of thing, a lot of that flower that's actually perfectly healthy and organic is being turned into distillates because there's a different protocol for distillates. Now, I'm someone that kind of smokes everything, basically. I certainly smoked my fair share of distillates. The way I kind of like to describe it, I do tend to like the character of outdoor. I've smoked a lot of outdoor from farmers, across the state of Massachusetts. It's a bit different than indoor, again, kind of due to sort of the character, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Indoor sort of has a more of a I don't know, how should I describe it? It's more of like you're getting kind of the similar thing every time type deal. And again, I'm a home grower here. I'm in Somerville, Massachusetts, so I grow indoors here. It's a densely populated area. I like indoor bud as well, but I think outdoor bud, certainly needs a chance to enter the market. And sort of just lastly on that point, and then Mike, you can answer questions because I know microbial thresholds isn't an easy topic, basically for your layman, if you will. And I don't claim to be any sort of scientist or anything like that, but it really will benefit the entire industry. I mean, I've talked to even operators that are operators in the med industry that have converted to the adult use industry that say, I need flower. We need flower to purchase wholesale, and so. Quite frankly, the bottom line is changing this threshold from what we're favoring is not an overall microbe threshold, but what's called speciation, so that you can actually determine whether it's a pathogen or just a perfectly beneficial bacteria. That's really what we're kind of striving for there. I think it was a good initial discussion with the CAB. I think Kim Napoli did a great job sort of framing the discussion. I do have some concerns how it always kind of goes back to, well, we need to talk to public health on it. And I have nothing against the Department of Health, but this is sort of a legacy thing that came through the Department of Health. And, quite frankly, in my opinion, it's an agricultural crop. And so your Department of Health isn't necessarily the right department to be overseeing an agricultural crop. And so I think this change to, again, the microbial threshold is just part of the natural progression of the industry. And it's long overdue in Massachusetts. And I know a lot of people, again, across the industry that agree with us on it. So anyway, that was Friday. Mike, go ahead.
And so, do current tests allow for the differentiation between the beneficial microbes and the pathogens?
Right. So my understanding is no. Is the short answer. And I if you want to, happy to send the slides around that I sent. I try to create a pretty good visual of where it is now, and what we're recommending. And the way I like to describe it is, now the threshold is just high, and so anything that doesn't pass that isn't passing. And basically, what this would do is create speciation, so it's distinguishing between good and bad, basically. And that's more in line with they're doing out in California and things like that. So yeah, that's the short answer. Again, I don't want to speak as a scientist, but I will say I continue to talk about the gap in cultivation knowledge that does exist on the CAB and the CCC. I think that's a very real thing. And unfortunately, again, I think there's a gap there that really needs to be addressed. I'm not saying that there aren't folks knowledgeable on the CAB and the CCC. I just think there needs to be more cultivation knowledge on both of those bodies, basically.
And forgive me for kind of not knowing the answer to this, but the CAB,
Sure.
was the CAB, has that been sort of running? I thought I read something or a post where it sort of was getting back together, or maybe it has that been running consistently for a while, or had that been something that sort of had taken a break? Or
Yeah, that's a good question, Mike. So, because I was kind of contacting folks like in like December, January on the Cannabis Advisory Board, and what I was hearing even from advisory board members was it was a little stalled as far as getting meetings together, basically. And I don't know if that's necessarily uncommon for governmental bodies. I think it's maybe tough to get folks from all walks of life, coming together and doing that, but. It seems like they're now active in lead up to the next round of regs that I believe is scheduled for August or so. And so they'll be submitting recommendations to CCC. The subcommittee that I presented to was the Market Participation Committee. And so some of the stuff that they're addressed with is definitely equity. They were totally talking about the ownership, stuff that's come up recently around equity. But the idea of getting more small farmers involved and stuff like that, they're kind of tasked with those issues as well. Does that help out, Mike?
It does. And so, because I know that for farmers and the cannabis industry, equity has always kind of been like a somewhat of a hot topic, right? And so, what does that landscape kind of look like today, and what are you guys trying to recommend or put into place that might help or, maybe protect farmers' rights a little bit within sort of this whole business process?
Right. So, if I can dial it back, honestly, I think this all really started in a closed door session shortly after Question 4 was passed. And I've been very vocal about this and actually gotten a lot of gruff on Facebook around this because I'm going to lay it out for you. It's pretty controversial. The bill, which is 4326, which was an act to further regulate marijuana. And first of all, I don't think our legislature should have been further regulating marijuana. I mean, that's why the CCC is put in place. It's not really the legislature's job to regulate. It's their job to pass laws. And so what happened during that closed door session, a couple things happened. One, I think they pushed back the rollout to instead of it was supposed to be springtime, they pushed it to the following year or something to that effect. And then the other thing that happened was they passed that bill, 4326. What that bill did was it basically said that marijuana could not be defined as agriculture in the Zoning Act. So what that meant was in the state of Massachusetts Zoning Act, since marijuana was no longer perceived as agriculture, at that point, it could not be zoned like agriculture. And so what basically happened was the municipalities across the state, and this has been my living hell for the last 2+ years easily, have mainly zoned cultivation in industrial and commercial districts, as I'm sure folks that are somewhat familiar with the industry are somewhat familiar with. That's been very unfortunate because what that has done is completely disenfranchised farmland. And quite honestly, that not only speaks to equity for farmers, but it speaks to equity across the board for me, because basically what this means is if you have the cultivation of a crop being zoned in just commercial industrial districts, those districts are going to be more expensive, price wise per square foot or per acre, or, however you want to do it, than rural areas. Rural areas are just going to have less of a square footage, for a leasing agreement and that sort of thing. That's just natural sort of, how it works out. But also, as we've seen, which I'm sure you guys are familiar with, you get a feeding frenzy in those districts, right? And so what I mean by the feeding frenzy is, since you're limiting cultivation to usually, and especially in rural towns, it's a very small area, these commercial industrial districts. I wear this shirt here, Raging Acres. That's a farm in Munson where there's still a huge political fight going on. If you look at the map of zoning of Raging Acres, their industrial district is like that. It's like tiny. And then it's just surrounded by rural farmland. And they were, in Raging Acres, want to pass bylaws that would have just zoned in that, tiny industrial area. And so what that does, obviously, is it favors bigger operators with capital, because there's the ones that can come in and bid out other folks for that sort of thing. And so, yeah, it really favors big, the sort of big cannons of the world, if you will, over, us local operators. But, the bottom line is that sort of came about through the passage of 4326. 4326, again, that occurred after question 4 was passed. It was a closed door session. So what I've published recently, and I've gotten a lot of gruff behind this, but the organizations that were involved in that were the Massachusetts Municipal Association, the Farm Bureau, which is quite ironic that the Farm Bureau was, voting against marijuana being, considered agriculture, because it is agriculture. It's a crop, in my opinion. And let's see, what was the third organization? Oh, yes, the Commonwealth Dispensary Association, which is, probably comes as no surprises to folks. And then Coastal Compassion. Now, that's an interesting one, because as I'll sort of, post on my Facebook page today, Coastal Compassion basically turned into Basque LLC and American out in Freetown. And then the most controversial one, the third one, is the Marijuana Policy Project. So the folks that actually were working on question 4 are in the Massachusetts.gov website as hiring, I believe it's Beacon Strategies Group, to lobby for this bill. Now, to be clear, I've gotten pushback from a lot of advocates and even, folks that work within MPP saying, listen, I don't think we lobbied for this bill. We probably lobbied against this bill. What I, sort of took a look at the last couple of days, which I find to be quite interesting, is if you look what's on mass.gov, Coastal Compassion and MPP, the Marijuana Policy Project, both hired Beacon Strategies Group. And in my opinion, Coastal Compassion, I think you can make a case, was trying for basically a monopoly on the cultivation marketplace, for lack of a better word. They wanted a corner of the market. And so basically what I'm saying is, if they hired the same lobbyist agency, that being Beacon Strategy Group, I have reason to believe that they were both lobbying for that bill, not against that bill. Now, does that make sense, Mike? Because I know that is like really, really deep into the nuances of how this stuff's rolled out, but it's a pretty controversial topic, and you really kind of have to connect the dots on it.
Well, I mean, I can see how if one is working out the logic where somebody could potentially come to that conclusion. If you're trying to figure out what makes sense, like that I can see how it's not outrageous for you to think that could be a possibility. And I mean, I guess at the end of the day, it makes sense that if you've got a business and you feel, I get it, I understand where the conflict is, but it would make sense that if you're out there trying to grow a lot of cannabis, that you would love to kind of have as much of that market as you can, and certainly, I know that on the medicinal side, that with the size footprint that they have, I know American has been, and Basque have been hoping to be like a very major, a very large provider of cannabis in the state of Massachusetts.
I mean, my whole perspective on it, Mike, and again, this is just my personal opinion. As an entrepreneur in this space, I favor a free market, and I think that any sort of actions that are promoting this sort of monopolistic culture in the industry really goes against the idea of a free market, but also innovation in the industry. And so I think that, again, if we're going to create this innovative and free market in the state of Massachusetts, we need to acknowledge these real cultural issues that are existing in the industry. And so let's put it this way, I'll post this on my Facebook page. I think that you either need to be, you're either a part of the problem or you're a part of the solution, right? And so if there's been bad policy decisions that made in the past that people are maybe backtracking on and saying, maybe that wasn't the right idea, fine. I'm okay with folks to admit that and for us to move forward together. I'll give you an example from my own life. I'm a very transparent person. I'm transparent about the advocacy I've done. My advocacy is also a matter of public record. I originally favored in Somerville, Massachusetts, where I live here, a licensing ordinance that would favor local residents as a way of hopefully helping out small business. Now, what we've seen in Somerville is that that's actually just favored land-owning residents that can get a lot of capital anyway. Now, it also favored, because it's one of those A/B, licensing schemes. It also favored economic empowerment applicants. Now, that being the case, what we've seen is it more greatly favors the residents, right? Because the residents are sort of, again, those landowning folks that already have access to capital. And so, what I've said to my city council is I no longer favor that. I think it should be removed from the ordinance. Now, I totally understand that ordinance is now already moving forward and it's a tricky issue. But again, this is something that in the past seemed to make sense to me that I would now have realized it wasn't. And so I will absolutely own up to, a learning process on my end. And this will continue to be a learning process. But I think that, again, you're either going to be part of the solution of moving this industry forward, or you're going to, dig in your heels and support the status quo. I want to personally work with the companies and the entrepreneurs that want to move forward and don't want to be part of the status quo. I want to be an outlier in this area. I want cannabis to be, craft cannabis to be not only amazing in the state of Massachusetts, but I want Massachusetts to lead the East Coast on this for crying out loud. Why shouldn't we? Right? I mean, yes, I know that obviously federal legalization is going to be a while. Particularly, we got Biden and Trump, which I think is pathetic on both sides. And we can talk about that a little more if you want, because I'm going to write in my vote this year, and I've told people that, and I've gotten a lot of gruff for it. But I think we can really lead the way when eventually it does open up to other states. I see craft as, I wanted to start here in Mass, but then when it starts opening up to other states, maybe do a little bit of a regional thing like we see in beer, things like that. So, craft beer, which can cross state lines. And so, again, I'm fine if folks want to say, hey, maybe that wasn't the right policy decision. We've made some mistakes. Let's come together and let's do this. But I don't necessarily see that happening just yet. But I mean, again, if people want to come to the table and move forward, I'm 100% game. And I do have thoughts on how to do that, which we've actually discussed before, Mike. And I don't know if you want me to go into that at all, but.
Yeah, go ahead.
So what we discussed, I think it was in Cambridge, Mike, that one time is, I think at the end of the day, local entrepreneurs need a lobbyist organization to really work for their goals and their strategies. And I think, even over the last couple of days, as I think you've seen, there's been a lot of back and forth in the advocate community among folks that are sort of vying for licenses and trying to get into the game that I don't want to say necessarily working against each other, but there's a lot of folks coming down upon each other, which is fine. I think discourse is fine, but I think ultimately we really have to congregate around some common policies. And doing that work is hard. It's not easy. But the simple fact of it is, if we're divided, we're never really going to get those solid policy created to move forward on. And so, currently where it sits, my feeling is the Cannabis Dispensary Association isn't really representing a lot of our policy and our policy goals. And so for me, they either have to come to the table at some point, or we just have to create our own organization, our own lobbyist organization. And, quite honestly, I'm already starting to talk to local entrepreneurs about that, beginning stages, but, it's something that, again, the CDA isn't going to work with on this. It's something that just has to be formed, quite frankly. And I think what will help that, honestly, Mike, is, I'm sure this will make some sense, is when more of us get in the game, right? When more of us get licenses that haven't really been fully represented by our government and these other sort of lobbyist organizations, then we have more ability to kind of create those organizations.
Well,
and
I think even especially from like sort of a financial support standpoint, it obviously helps once businesses are up and running and start to show a little profit and have some money to be able to really support an organization. In the meantime, it obviously would be a bit more grassroots because everyone's sort of struggling monetarily through the process as it is. So it's not like there's a lot of extra money to. But it would be it would be really cool if we found some folks that could actually step up, who sort of believed in the cause and it's I know it's really interesting, and I think we're finding this across advocacy across all of sort of the different segments within cannabis, which is, it's once people sort of find success and they start getting busy with that, it's not that they don't care anymore, but it can just be very difficult from a resources standpoint to actually continue that good fight, right? And so for a lot of us, especially when certain special interest groups start to find some relief, often they're not necessarily as present with the folks that are still out there, the other groups that are still out there trying to fight. And they're, for those of us out there, and again, nobody's holding anyone in particular, I think, to the fire, because we all understand like life gets busy. There's lots of things even outside of the normal business world that sort of draw upon our attention and everything. But the bottom line is there's still a lot of folks out there that need help, and whether it's farmers, EE applicants, vets, even just at times small business, there's still a lot of groups out there that are still trying to fight for their fair and compassionate, equitable place within the industry. And farmers, I mean, let's be honest, like farmers aren't like they're often not the sexiest group to be like to be helping out, right? And it's really, I think, because a lot of us sort of have taken for granted farmers in general, right? And they just sort of, when you think about it, even, and it's interesting because I had never really thought of this, Eric, before, but even in cannabis, when you look at the sort of supply chain and how things get made, the cultivators are often the ones that they make the least amount of money. They're sort of forgotten in that chain because, yes, some people are buying flower, but the real money that's being made is on the manufacturing side. It's post cultivation, right? And a lot of people don't verbalize this, and it's the same thing in the traditional farming industry, which is there's people who are cultivating these, the produce and the fruits and the vegetables, and they're not really making money. They're sort of just scraping by. But then you have people that take those items and turn it into things, whether they're reselling it or they're even just like turning it into prepared food, and they're making, sort of that almost, I don't want to say exponential, that's overstating it, but they're making an accelerator on that the farmers don't get to enjoy. It's the same thing in cannabis, right? Like the cultivators, if you really start separating that out, which by the way is why the craft cooperative license type in Massachusetts is so great actually for potential farmers, because with one license it's including both cultivation and manufacturing.
Exactly.
And I'll tell you, Eric, and business is business, right? Like I understand people are going to be out there and we all, you need to fight for your piece, right? Like and you have to expect that everyone else out there wants to fight for their piece too, and we're all, you like to think everyone's being fair, but we're trying to get as much as somebody is willing to give to us, right? I'll tell you that at first I was surprised until I really figured it out that when I saw people approaching farmers and cultivators to say like, hey, we need your expertise. We need your like we've got large plans, but we need the farmer. We need the cultivator, and you know how those business plans often were really treating the farmer and the cultivator like a commodity, as opposed to sort of like an integral part of and a fair and equitable part. I shouldn't say an integral because they're integral, but like how are they getting compensated and compared to everyone else, right? And so it's just been very interesting, and you know, if people need a harsh reminder of how important farmers are to us in general, all they need to go is to go into any grocery store right now and take a look at the shelves and realize that the crappy produce that's getting delivered from outside of the country or across the country and are covered with like petroleums and protectants and like they're not fresh like you're going to get locally, and there's none of that in the stores, right? And,
exactly.
And so we just happened to, and this was pre-corona, that like we were sort of trying to think like how could we come up with something to help support farmers, and we were sort of tossing around this idea of like let's do donations and use that money to buy shares from local farmers, support them, and then get it to hungry people. And then the outbreak happened, and there's actually like people that are stuck and can't actually get food. It's not even just like poor people that have trouble getting access to it or geographically or there's logistic issues. It's actual people that are like stuck at home. And even when they're getting out to go to the store, it's like it's not even a crapshoot. It's really like a lottery ticket, like as to whether or not you can actually get good quality food out there. And so for everyone out there, like if you need a reminder, like we all focus on small business, which these days like supporting small business, which is great, like during this time. But we're not like for a lot of people, small business in the sort of food chain is like the restaurateurs who, you know, and obviously need our support, and they're struggling too. But we need to remember that like restaurateurs like are getting their food from farmers, and if anyone out there can find me a farmer, a small farmer who has been profitable, who hasn't been losing money year after year after year after year, and often they're not even subsidized in any way, then let me know. Let me know if you found a farmer that like figured out how to be nice and profitable, because frankly farmers are doing this because they're passionate about food and they're passionate about feeding people, and like it sounds weird to most people who are like, I'm a successful person, and you start thinking about like what drives a farmer to do what they do, and most people are like, yeah, why the fuck would you be a farmer? Like that's bananas. Like you're going into business to lose money? No, they're going into business because like they know how necessary good food is. Like they're good at it. They know if they're not going to do it, that like the options out there are like way less than desirable, and we've all gotten complacent about the food that we're putting into our bodies, right? But the bottom line is that like farmers are out there toiling like as much as any other person that's out there, and like farmers are generally like losing money. So the fact that they're still out there growing food at the quality and produce and whatever else that they're growing at the quality that they're doing, to generally not really be making any money but still putting out like the best stuff that we have out there, like we need to, and that's why, you know, like I said, in the cannabis industry, like farmers are kind of like one of the least sexiest roles out there, because people don't like to think about like the hard work that goes into like just like with normal farmers. Like I eat every day, no matter where I go to eat, and I'll be honest, and this is crappy of me, like when I sit down, like I'm not thinking about like the farmers that grew the food that I'm about to eat, right? And the bottom line is it's like garbage in, garbage out, right? And it's just like what you're talking about when we're cultivating and we're trying to productize that and we're trying to get stuff to come out of it. Like the quality of cannabis that goes in, you can't improve upon it as you're going through an extraction or manufacturing process, right? So like when you're putting something, whether it's a tincture, whether it's an edible, whether it's a concentrate, the quality of that is directly dependent upon like the farmer and the cultivator that like grew that product from the get-go, right? And so in our cannabis industry, we're often, there are a lot of folks that need special attention and help because they're getting forgotten by special interest, big business, and, and just money in general, right? And we just really need to remember that farmers are like a core part of that. And that's why I wanted you to come on. Like, we have a lot of people that come on and they're, they're talking about things further along. And this is like just such, and I know there's a lot of people out there that are watching that are like, yes, I'm a grower and I believe in what you're saying, but like, it's not those people. It's not those of us that are in the thick of growing and that sort of that struggle of the perception of like how actually important that farmers and cultivators are to the industry. It's the rest of us out there that are generally sort of complacent around like the time and the effort and the love and the attention and the presence that actually has to go into, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can come up with standard operating procedures for growing, but like, it's not like manufacturing. Like manufacturing, I can come up with standard operating procedures, and as long as somebody follows that to a T, like generally skill set and experience and love and passion doesn't matter as much as when you're talking about something like cultivation, which is like a daily thing with your hands on nature and like living life that you're trying to nurture and grow into something that can then turn into like amazing stuff later on. And I didn't mean to talk so much about it, but
I know it's great. It's awesome. You mind if I say a few things because you're hitting on such great points, Mike?
No, please do.
So the first thing that comes to mind for me is, from the beginning, with Farm Boy Co-op, we've always felt that craft cannabis was a way to also have farms continue to farm. In other words, craft cannabis is a cash crop when compared to, let's say, tomatoes or lettuce or something like that. And so I've always felt, and our organization sort of built around this idea that the farms will have more access to revenue and capital, if you will, through this cash crop of marijuana, such that they can also subsidize their other farming activities, and so that farms can continue to remain farming. What I've found throughout my advocacy, and this is again kind of a shout out to Raging Acres Farm in Munson. There's been a lot of clear cutting of farms and forest land basically across the state of Massachusetts to put in solar tracks. And there's been a lot of pushback across the state by environmentalists saying, listen, I'm all for solar technology, but you guys are clear cutting forests in which to, put down that technology. And it can be pretty mechanized too. I've seen these fields. There's a solar field that was put in right across an industrial solar field right across from this farm, Raging Acres, and that's actually how we got in touch with them, through our advocacy process. And so, we've always felt that craft marijuana can be done, at a small scale to, again, it's a cash crop to, really help, the farms across Massachusetts. So our philosophy is in line with also maintaining our local food supply, if you will, right? And again, you just look to what we are experiencing now with COVID. I mean, the one maybe good thing out of this is, I don't know about you, but I've certainly gone to CSAs. I've gone to programs like that to bring in a lot of the stuff that we're eating in the house here. I'm not going to say I'm completely righteous and I haven't hit up Amazon and stuff for that kind of thing, but we're definitely going as much as we can to the farm, to get our food. So the other thing that might be helpful, Mike, is I'm doing the best I can, and I'm hoping maybe you and other folks will work with me to get something at the state level within the budget that would actually provide, basically some sort of state level program that would help farmers get food directly to low income communities. Sorry, could you hear me there, Mike?
Yeah, no, I could. No, I think that's, and I mean, we're privately trying to do that now, so we would definitely be in support of that. And I think it just, as with a lot of this stuff, and Eric, you're definitely, I know that you're, I know that you're an outspoken guy, and as a fellow outspoken guy, like, sometimes folks appreciate that, and other times folks don't always appreciate that, but you're definitely, such a huge asset to the farming community. And we, I'm saying this because, like, in a lot of sort of the sort of special interest groups within the cannabis industry of folks that special interest groups of folks that like need help, right? Like, so whether it's vets or farmers or people of color or whatever it is. And a lot of those groups have difficulty finding like a consistent, solid person that can be sort of that, not just an advocate, because advocates are so important, but really sort of the person that can help to like bring people together. And the farming community is definitely lucky to have somebody like you that continues to stay vocal and active, and and so my point with this though is that, so if we want to do something like this, if we want to try to encourage the state to put money behind actually getting food from some of these local farms out to folks that need it, what do you think is the right way for us to start? And I get it, there's no easy answer. If there was an easy answer, we'd be doing it, but what should we do?
Yeah, I mean, quite honestly, again, I'm pretty transparent when it comes to my advocacy. I'm at sort of the beginning stages of brainstorming. You know what I mean? Like, what will really sort of create that type of program? You know what I mean? And so, I've talked to some folks. I should give them a shout out. I can't remember that exact site. You might know it. It's massfooddelivery.org, I believe, something like that. But anyway, there's folks that on the farming side that are trying to get food, for instance, to folks that have SNAP benefits, right? And I've heard a little bit around on the supply chain of them having trouble how to, being able to do that. And for me, I'm trying to ask farmers, what is that disconnect? You know what I mean? In other words, how can we really create it? Where are the gaps in these programs, I guess? You know what I mean? And so how can we create a program that fills in these gaps, that brings food from our farms to our communities, in particular our low income communities that need food? And speaking to a friend about this, who's also worked at like a local, I don't know if it's like a soup kitchen or however you want to describe it. He said part of the trouble was getting some of the low income communities to be able to actually use the food that came in, because I think it's a little bit different than sort of the lifestyle that they used to being able to cook this sort of thing. So I guess what I'm saying is, I think as a community, I would personally like to understand, where are the gaps? How can the policy come together from starting point to end point, right? And where are the challenges sort of in between there? And it might even be like a supply chain question, perhaps, and so that's where my questions are starting, Mike. I don't have a definite program more than I have sort of this idea and this concept. Is the state even the one that should be funding this sort of thing? I suppose that could be a question that comes into play as well. But yeah, go ahead.
Well, and I would say, if somebody formulates something, ideally it can be something that the state can assist with funding, but that also folks can donate to, or that businesses can treat as a charitable effort. And because I mean, I'll tell you, like, we were just doing it because we wanted to like help farmers, and figured the right thing to do is to get that food out to the people that like actually need it the most, right?
Totally.
But I'll tell you, like, it doesn't, it just requires that people are interested in helping out. And as long as you have sort of like the right mechanisms in place to make sure that the money is going where it needs to go, it's actually like a beautiful thing to be able to help farmers and then feed people with that money, And so I think we should talk offline about it, because I think there's a number of, I think really what it is that we need to give people a soft target to be able to help, right? And as with a lot of times that we're all talking about things that are wrong and that things need to be made right, without the call to action for folks, it's very difficult, right? Like we can sort of inspire people or get them on, emotionally involved with us that there's an issue that needs righting, but if none of us can come up with the plan and a course of action, then it's really tough to do anything about it, right? So why don't we follow up offline, and we'll pull in some other folks that also have extra. Averill, as you know, has expertise around
Averill's great
farming and SNAP benefits, and really, and Averill has always been very passionate about interfacing with the people who can't afford her produce.
She's amazing with that, if I may say.
So let's get something together, because yes, I think we can try to affect change on the state level wherever and whenever it makes sense. But in the meantime, rather than waiting for like the powers to be to decide that they
Right.
actually have empathy for the folks that need it the most. Why don't we just do something about it ourselves and then see if they're willing to help us? And
Yeah,
if it encourages them to other folks to get their act together to actually do something, that's great, because in the long run, the goal is to help people. It's really not about who can help the best, right? Or who's helping the
yeah.
most. It's really just about helping the people that need it. So let's see if we can try to do some good with it. I know you're always. I'm not trying to imply that none of us that we're not trying to do good all the time, because I think we are. But let's try to focus our energies and try to do something specific and good with this.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, there's pockets of things happening, and so almost it's like if those farms that are really doing, as what you're talking about with the Averill, and you guys are doing your thing now, if like let's say grants or loans or whatever they may be are created at the state level, then it becomes a threshold thing as far as what do farms do to qualify for that, right? And so if these programs are already in place, you know what I'm saying, in those pockets where they're in place, if a program comes into play, then those farms are in a good position to receive that money, should that money come down from the state, if that makes sense. But yeah, I agree. Let's crack at it while it's hot, and not just let it linger and wait for the state to shower some money on us, which never happens anyway, right? So
Right. Well, and even within the cannabis industry, we see efforts sometimes where people are sort of lobbying and pushing for programs that are intended to like help people, but sometimes the road to hell is paved with good intentions, and sometimes
right,
people can have great intentions, but stuff gets sort of bogged down and mired, and it doesn't always happen. It doesn't always happen in a way that's like actually the most beneficial for the people that are it's intended to help, right? And it doesn't,
yeah.
and that's okay, because we're trying our best here, but sometimes, and like, to me, this isn't about like, hey, let's create a business around trying to help. It's more like, hey, let's try to just put mechanisms in place where
Right.
money
Yeah.
where money and assistance can go to the right place, and
Yeah, right.
and it is about compassionate compensation. So you do need, like, I don't know, like, you need to make sure it's all running well, and I'm not saying everyone needs to just always be donating their time, but like, this is one of those things where if we're trying to get monies and to go into the right place, it shouldn't be where like 5% of the money raised is actually going to where it needs help, and the rest is like supporting
Right.
the mechanics of the operation. I think we can put stuff into place where like farmers can get the support they need, find some additional support they need, and that people who are really hungry and don't have access to like good quality produce can actually have that access.
Totally. Yeah.
And I think it's possible. I think it's possible for us to do that. So let Eric. We really appreciate you hanging out, and we want
Yeah.
to have you back soon, so that it's good to get regular updates
Yeah. Yeah.
on how.
Would you mind if I talked about one thing you pointed out, because I thought it was a great thing, Mike?
Sure.
The Just one thing before I go, that I thought you brought up in this whole discussion about farmers and sort of being commodified, I guess is the
Yeah, commoditized.
commoditized. My bad. You mentioned growers, and growers sort of being pushed down to the bottom, so to speak, right? Of this sort of like capitalists, and we do live in a capitalist society, but that's happening a lot as far as the people that actually grow the plant sort of not receiving perhaps the benefit that they should. I just want folks to know that our organization has been totally sort of focused on that concept, or that sort of cultural construct that we disagree with. In other words, since its inception, Farm Bud Co-op has always been about putting the grower at the center of our organization. And so, I haven't been a grower for decades and decades and decades. I am a home grower now. I do grow, in my basement. But I've been a marketer and an advocate. And so I've always reached out to cultivators to understand really from them what their needs are and how to cultivate the plant. And so the way that our organization is built is I like to say is a cultivator first organization, when the cultivators are intricately involved in the strategic decisions of the organization, not only in relation to the cultivation of the plant, but kind of the overall strategy of how we move forward. And that's really the idea of a co-op. A lot of these co-ops that exist already in agriculture, like the Organic Valleys of the world, and There's tons of co-op. Cabot Cheese is a co-op, for instance. The way that they're run is basically the cultivators are members of that co-op and make the decisions, about how that agricultural operation should operate at the end of the day. And so basically what I'm saying is, I've been on a mission since the beginning, since question 4 was passed, to ensure that our growers are taken care of. And unfortunately, what I hear, because I talk to a lot of growers across the state, because we do a lot of recruitment calls, is the high up executives generally at dispensaries are not listening to them. Which doesn't make a lot of sense, you know what I mean? And so we run into a lot of these labor issues that we're seeing all over the place now, with Netta, and there's this big, are they going to try to unionize now? And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Sierra Natural is unionized and stuff like that. And there was even the dig you guys might have saw, and maybe you already brought it up, that article about Netta and there being sort of some whistleblowers around issues of around COVID standards, if you will, and Netta not meeting up to those standards. Again, read it. It's in the dig. This is not me coming up with this information, but basically what I'm saying is I think the growers do need to be treated better in the marketplace. We're an organization that's building, that identity literally into our cooperative. And I never really thought it made any sense for it to be top down as far as strategically on the growers. The growers should be deciding how the plant's been cultivated. And so I've been very proud throughout, my work with Pharma Co-op to always defer to my cultivators. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, it's not up to me to be making those decisions. It's up to the people that have grown this plant for decades and decades and decades. And unfortunately, I think what you were kind of referring to before, which I think is a very, very, astute, perspective on the industry, is, a lot of times the way these companies are created, it's around, this supply chain, and the supply chain really dictating the cultivator and the farmer and the grower at the end of the day, rather than the grower and the farmer having input into that supply chain and into that organization. And so, we're looking to really flip that model upside down. We flipped it upside down already, and it's working pretty well for us.
Well, Eric, one last thing that I'll sort of
Sure,
say,
go ahead.
and I'm always the guy that's sort of like thinking, I come up, sometimes I have like weird ideas or whatever, but, to me, when I think about other folks that are out in different verticals within the cannabis industry and the creative ways that they figured out how to make money, and I'm putting that sort of nicely and gently because I'm referring to like management companies that have figured out how to do management contracts and shelf space contracts and all this. I feel like in the long run, especially with the co-op model, and where you then have like potentially like multiple sort of sub brands that are sort of enjoying an economy of scale when it comes to like marketing and distribution and some other things. And I'm waiting for a group that's like large enough and premium enough on the cultivation side to basically say like, hey, if you want our cannabis, because we know you're going to get, depending on what you're doing with it, you're going to get a 3 to 10 time accelerator on, even if we're charging a premium wholesale to you, you're still going to make a massive amount of money on that.
Right.
And I'm waiting for some folks to maybe come up with some creative things like, hey, if you want our our 5,000 pounds of cannabis a year, then we need to make some back end money in addition to just this wholesale price. I don't know. I think it's interesting. I mean, everyone's sort of like there. You have this whole, everyone's sort of up in arms about the idea of the sort of like management contracts and creative ways that folks are figuring out how to like get around equity limitations to actually get more money out of cannabis businesses.
Right.
And I don't know, like, and I get it, like that's something we all need to like keep an eye out and watch out for because it sets a dangerous precedent. But like, I don't know, maybe it's a way that also farmers can benefit too and say, hey, like, sure, the market price per pound fluctuates as time goes on, but we want 25 cents off of every transaction that you're doing with our cannabis. Or if you're productizing it, we get it. You're doing the IP formulation and stuff, but the reality is you're only doing that because we don't have a license to do that, or we're not allowed to do that. And again, it's like when you're talking about farmers and their food going either to grocery stores or to restaurants, right? And a grocery store will make a little bit more because they're reselling it, and a restaurant will make potentially massive amounts of money versus the cost of the actual food, and what people are actually doing with this product and how they're actually making massive amounts of money off of it. And just when you're stuck in a regulated industry like we are, you can grow the product, but it doesn't mean that you can actually keep monetizing off of it. So I don't know, I think if other sort of folks within the verticals of cannabis are figuring out creative ways on how to dip, double dip, triple dip, quadruple dip into the finances, then I think that's what that's why I'm sure there's a lot, especially the larger companies, when you hear unionizing, it starts to get very scary, because you're talking about a potential large effect on finances and quarterly earnings and all of this stuff. And I don't know. I mean, I think I'll tell you. So when I witnessed, people approaching farmers to be like, yo, we want you to be a part of stuff, and we want you to, and when you look at it, again, it's a non-spoken, collusive, methodology in which people are sort of treating farmers and cultivators on that side, because everyone is sort of devalued. They've come, where even if it's unspoken, even if it's not, whatever, it's it's a commoditization of growers, right? And it's one of those things where it's yes, it's so important, but then as soon as you're talking about well, what's that actually worth, and are we compassionately compensating that part of it? It's oh, no, well, actually monkeys could grow weed. It's a weed. It'll grow anywhere, right? It's so important and difficult to grow amazing weed until you actually need to pay for it, and then it's oh no, we can get this anywhere. And unfortunately, the perception of the extraction, or not even the perception, but the reality of the extraction market, is that it allows the cannabis industry to grow gross and dirty weed, and it doesn't matter because you're extracting it, right? And even, by the way, with the stories coming out this last week, and I get it, to me the important part of some of that stuff was that the workers specifically were kind of hey, we were just personally put at risk. But if anyone out there is wow, what shocking news that cannabis is growing dirty weed, guess what? 2.5 years ago, there was an article in the Boston Globe where a reporter was following around the CCC inspector going around, and I don't remember, but it was one of the larger cultivation facilities, and they witnessed powdery mildew, and the reporter and the inspector were asking the head cultivator from this large company, so we see powdery mildew, what are you going to do about that? Oh, we pluck off the leaves, and then we keep an eye on it. And when I read that, I'm okay, so everyone involved right now, from reporter to inspector to cultivator, there's a culture there where it's okay to have dirty weed, because, hey, I guess we're just going to extract, it, right? And by the way, at that point, where was the reporter and where was the inspector to be so by the way, does this actually affect working conditions? Because it's fucking mold. Mold isn't a fucking rock. It's not sitting, it floats. It's particulates, right?
Exactly.
And so it's really a blind eye cultural thing, and that sometimes happens in the cannabis industry. Just like when you open up a licensed cannabis business, cultivation business, how are you popping your seeds? And apparently, nobody pays attention to, oh, well, how did you suddenly get 2,000 cannabis plants inside of your, how did you suddenly accelerate? How did you get 2,000 clones? Where'd you get those clones from? Oh, nobody's asking. Nobody cares. Don't ask, don't tell, right? And it's the same thing with, a lot of people out there don't realize, and by the way, not to frighten anyone, because when you do extract the stuff, it literally does clean out everything. So even if it is dirty,
that's what I've heard. Can we be firm on that, Mike? I think as far as during the extraction process.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, I would guess there is powdery mildew weed that is being extracted. Are you saying that there likely is no risk to humans if that's the case?
What I'm saying, I mean, so I'm no scientist, but at least what I'm told is that a proper extraction process, especially on the CO2 side, means that when you're getting it down to an isolate level, you're isolating out the cannabis, and everything else, whether it was just normal plant matter or stuff that wasn't supposed to be there, is no longer present, but that also means that you're reliant upon good equipment, good standing operating procedures, people who are trained, good testing procedures, and like where is it being tested all along the way? Is it being tested before and after? And even just, and especially when you get into the CBD side of stuff, like there's even less oversight for testing than on the THC side, which by the way is just why in the long run you should buy all of your cannabis products from places that you can trust. And that's why to me, like the farming side is actually, just to go back to it, is still so important because, sure, I sincerely hope that the CO2 extraction process really does get everything out. And you'd like to think that there's been enough testing going on in the cleanliness of products that are coming out that people would have figured out if that really wasn't the case. But that said, like, if you really want to make sure that what you're getting is clean, aside from the testing, just go to who you trust. It's just like with your food. It's just like with you don't go to restaurants you don't trust. You go to restaurants that you're comfortable with, that you trust, and you've had a good experience. And it's the same thing with cannabis, right? And not all cannabis is created equal. And it is a free market to some extent, and it is let the buyer beware to some extent. And so the idea is that we all need to figure out like where the good stuff is, how we can trust it, and then continue to support that, and not just fall into the commoditized route where like you might like your craft beer, but like you're willing to buy Budweiser because money's a little tight, and you just don't care at that point. And we just need to be careful about who we support. Yes, we all need the best bang for a buck, but yes, we all need to remember, just like with produce. Right, if all you want is canned vegetables, you just understand what you're getting when you get canned vegetables versus produce that you're getting that was picked that day off of a farm that uses like no emollients or petroleums or any of the stuff that you might not want on your food. So, Eric, I really appreciate you spending so much time with us today. We definitely want to have you back on. I definitely want to follow up with you offline so that we can figure out how we can maybe put some pieces into place to do some good for farmers and hungry folks.
Sure. Are you even going to have time for that, Mike? You're doing this thing 24/7, right?
Well, I mean, and I guess that's the thing too, right? There is time. We got to make time for the good stuff, right?
That was just a joke. You're doing a great service with the show.
Well, but also there's so many people out there that want to help, and I think that's the thing, right? Is like we need to. There's people that want to help. They just don't, and for a lot of things, they just don't know what to do. So when we can provide guidance and structure and calls to action that make sense and are clear and concise for people, those people that really do want to help can now do so conveniently and quickly and effectively, and not just feel like we're sort of like running in place sometimes and not getting much done. So
good. Yeah, I'm all for it.
Cool. Let's do some good, dude. Thanks for joining us on a Sunday. I know
Sure.
I know it's Mother's Day. I know you got kids. We appreciate you hanging out with us. Give our best to your wife, and we'll talk soon.
Great. And happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, right?
Definitely.
Cool. All right. I'll see you, man. Take care.
Thanks, Eric.
Yeah.
Thanks to Eric Schwartz for coming on. That was awesome. They've been waiting so patiently. Up next we have Jodi Chapin with Green Arts on the Grow. And we have Nathan Andrade. My lord, Avril's hair looks amazing. So we're just waiting for Jodi to join us. We're super psyched that Avril and Nate, and it's Nate, but Avril's there as well, are joining us for their regular twice-a-week segment of Green Nurse on the Grow, where Jodi Chapin shows us the progress of her home grow. She's got a few cannabis plants, and she's been doing an amazing job. And twice a week, Nathan Andrade from Between the Rows, which is an EE.
Hey.
Alright, Oh my God, April, no, come back down. I want to see your hair. Oh my freaking God. Hey, Nate, how do you keep your hands off of her? Because I want to reach right through this phone. I want to reach right through this phone, April. Oh, April. Oh my God. I one of these days when I can get my hands on you, you better watch
I can't wait.
out.
I can't wait.
You better, reserve a long period of time.
I can't wait.
Yeah, we might have to reserve a room
all day long.
And I want your hair just like that.
Thomas says good morning.
All right. I'm just getting you guys
Okay, sorry.
set up here.
Oh, and Nate, I love your hair too.
That's getting wild.
I don't want to leave you out. But her hair does look awesome.
It does.
I'm wicked jealous. So, how are you?
Good, good. Had to go to the greenhouse and take all the row cover off of all the plants.
Yeah, is it warm enough now?
Yeah. It was just the last 2 nights were kind of scary.
Yeah. Right? I know. You don't expect this
yo,
kind of weather in May.
Comments.
Yeah.
So Jodi Chapin from Green Nurse on the Grow, we appreciate you coming every week to, and actually you're one of the you guys are fan favorites. There's actually a whole bunch of people that love this segment twice a week. You come on Sundays and Wednesdays. And thanks, guys, for being patient. I know we were running a little late today, so we really appreciate it. But you guys show us twice a week. Jodi comes in and shows us her awesome plant grow, and Nate gives her some awesome advice. And everyone loves this segment. So, Jodi, we really appreciate it. It's from Green Nurse on the Grow. So everyone go out there and follow him. And Nate Andrade, who's from Between the Rows, who's the master grower. Make sure you're following Between the Rows. And, guys, thanks for joining us. And we want to, we're going to let you take it away, Jodi.
Awesome. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Happy Mother's Day to the mothers out there. Thank you for joining us, Nate. I am so excited to, bring everyone back into the tents. I mean, Nate, when you were showing me the pictures of yours, I still, strive to have my plants look like that. But once I bring everyone into the veg tent, I think they could be on their way to look like yours. I love spending time in my grow room. I mean, now I don't even care about quarantine, on my days off from work at the hospital, because I spend a lot of time in here and I open up my tents and I'm really, having a lot of fun with this now. Just seeing a lot of positive results and having Nate with me, by my side and helping guide me, and Avril too. I mean, oh my God, the knowledge of both of you is absolutely amazing. So let me bring you into the flower tent first so you can see those girls. Let me turn this around. All right. So we're starting off with, who's this one? So this one in front is Matrix. I keep on switching the plants around. I'm rotating, so I forget who's who. But Matrix was a clone that I had taken back in, what was it, February? But I mean, it's looking pretty good. I think it's looking pretty good. I mean, the leaves are pretty lush. I think I do have to start maybe being more bold about taking more of the leaves off. I think when I look from above, I do see some, that might be, covering some of the buds. But I mean, the trichomes, I mean, I wish I had a microscope so I can look up really close, and get some of those like really phenomenal photos.
Nice.
But I mean, I love watching just the stages. It's awesome. But I think I think I might need to get a little more bold with taking some of the leaves off. I just, I love seeing all the greenness. So yeah, like this one right here, that one's actually touching, right? So is that
Yep. Yeah.
like that's okay?
Yeah. She looks good though. I wouldn't go crazy and take too much off of her. Sometimes you can just adjust the leaf to move it out of the way. You don't have to always remove it.
Oh,
But,
okay.
But yeah, she's looking beautiful.
Okay, and I mean, I
The
know
stuff
April.
underneath, I would. If it's
All
underneath the bud and you see that it's not getting hit by light, that's the stuff that you want to remove.
Okay, so like all of
Yeah.
a lot of this stuff.
Yep.
Okay. All right. And it's funny. So I mean, I only have 3 plants in my flower tent. So let's go back to this one. They all look different. It's funny how they, all the different strains have different attributes. But this one is the Hazy Bastards.
More weed,
The
less
one,
greed.
right? This one, I mean, look at, there's lots of buds like along where the other one that I was just showing you almost looked like little popcorn buds growing, but this one seems more lush. And I was a little nervous because this is the one that the leaves weren't the typical, fan leaf, the 5-fingered leaves. It's like the single one, so I was a little nervous. But I mean, it's really bulking up, and we're what, week 3, I think, with these.
Yep.
With this one. I mean, and it seems as though like the tips, a couple of the leaves are a little yellowy and the tips look a little brown, but
Yep.
not the majority. I mean, would I do anything different?
No, you were just feeding her heavily because she was so yellow. So
right.
she was just uptaking a lot of nutrients. That's fine, just a little bit. If you see if it continues, then you want to cut back on your feeding a little bit. But I would continue doing your process. Keep feeding her. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. And then back here is the Tanya plant, the Tanya OG. And as I come down, I am noticing a lot of like yellowing leaves just down, I mean, mostly at the bottom.
Yeah, that's where it starts. It starts then whenever you have a nitrogen issue, it will always start at the bottom of the plant and work its way up to the top.
Okay, yeah, and then I mean there are some, this one looks kind of variegated right there. Yep. So I think the last thing that I did was I put a comfrey leaf in the soil.
Yep.
But that's all I've done so far. I haven't done any food. So should I
feed her?
Go ahead and feed her?
Yes.
Okay. But I mean, otherwise, I don't know. I mean, what's the quality of? Can you see like all the trichomes and all those white hairs as I zoom in like this?
A little bit.
It's okay. It's tough to see on my. I mean, I'm using my phone, so. But yeah, so those are the 3 in the flower. In the flower tent. And in here is where I did add this. I don't know if this is doing anything at this point. I don't know. It looks kind of funky.
Yeah, it's definitely doing something.
Okay, and I don't know if you can see it. Is it supposed to look like whitish like that? Is that the whole process of?
I think so.
Okay, I know you said that you don't usually do a CO2 supplement, but I just threw it in there because it had been suggested.
It don't hurt.
So yeah, so that's them. What I had noticed recently, let me bring you around. I don't know if the humidity is yeah, it actually came down since I opened the tent, but I mean it's still pretty high. Right now it's 32, but when I first opened the tent, before the show started, it was it was like 41. And I'm not quite sure. I have it vented in here. I have up here, I have the exhaust venting it out. I don't know how else. I mean, how else to bring the humidity down? I mean, I haven't noticed any mold or anything. I mean, right now they look okay, but I'm just nervous. I that happened to me one time with an outdoor grow, and it ruined my whole crop. I had to throw
Well,
everything
you don't
away.
really want to bring it down. You want to keep it somewhere like in the 50s would be
Oh,
really good. Yeah. I like to
for
keep
my
my
for my
I like to keep
flower
my room like 53 to 55% relative humidity.
for the flower tent.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then I have been okay. Then I actually have to bring it up. All right. I thought I was running too high, and and that might have been contributing to.
Well, using the fan, sucking it in and out, and bringing in fresh air, that's good too, though. I'm not,
Okay.
that's good.
Okay, but my right now my relative humidity is okay.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
It's just because you opened up the tent. Once you close the tent back up, then it will rise back up.
It'll come back up. Okay, I just thought I was working on trying to get it down. I thought when it was in flower, I don't know why I thought I had in my head that um, that it should be a lot lower. So, all right. So I'll feed. So as far as this tent goes, I'll feed that back Tanya OG, the one that's yellowing, and clip off those yellow leaves.
And you should be feeding all of them at least once a week. Water feed. It's all, you know what I mean? Like you should be doing that on every single plant.
Okay, so not just when they turn. Okay, okay. I think I am actually on a feed now for all of them then.
Nice.
Okay, awesome. So now I'll bring you on over to the smaller veg tent. I really need to invest in getting a bigger veg tent. I mean, they're just kind of, I mean, I don't want to, I'm not complaining, but they're kind of overtaking the whole tent. I mean, it's, um, I almost feel like I don't even have enough light. And I was going to ask you, is this time because right now they're all up on buckets?
As they get bigger, you can drop them down. You got space though. There's space there.
Oh yeah, there's tons of space. So right now, would that be a time when I drop them down away from the light? Are they tall enough, or should I?
I think it's fine for now, and they can be crowded a little bit,
Okay.
As long as you're moving them around and you're getting all the branches to pop out,
Yeah, I mean, definitely some of them are like tall, like yeah.
That's what I was saying. Some of them, if they're going to be in there for a while, you'll probably want to give them that second topping.
Yeah, yeah.
But they will get a little bit wider too, though.
Right. I mean, like this one here. Let me take this one out because this one almost looks like. I mean, is this something? Is this one that I can bend like a whole? I don't know.
Yeah. Or you could top. You could top it.
Or I can just totally top that.
Yep.
Okay.
Just do it with its two nodes.
All right. All right, and none of these would be ready to put into the flower tent, right? I mean, I don't. Oh. I mean, it just seems as though they're so crowded.
Yeah.
And this one's almost like bending over.
I've flowered out smaller plants, So that's really that's your decision to how much room you have in your flower room that you could add in another plant or two.
Yeah.
You could do that. Yep.
To make room. I mean, it just seems as though that they want to start reaching out or doing something.
Like that one that's folded over, I would give that more time and more. Yeah, I would give that one more time.
And here,
maybe one of the other bushier ones I would put in to flower.
So one of these smaller bushier ones, like because these are the shorter ones that are kind of up a little bit higher on on those paint buckets. Let me come out here. I don't know if I'm making people dizzy. I mean, this seems as though it's like a little bit taller. This has some pretty big leaves. These are the biggest leaves I've ever had before. These are like the size of my hand. These are like your plants.
No.
No, well,
Not
no,
like mine.
no, but I mean, I was just talking about the sun. Okay,
I'm joking. I'm joking with you.
I know. No, you're not. but this is the biggest leaf that I've ever had.
Yeah. Just with that one, if you put it into flower with the two big branches, it's going to be really tall if you don't top that. You got to figure it may double in size, so you'd have a really tall, lanky plant.
So, am I having to top way down here, like? Or
probably to get it to where there's two nodes, but it's also going to fill in. Yeah, somewhere around there.
Wow. So
just because it got really tall, because it probably got the least amount of light. Sometimes there's strains that stretch like that too.
Yeah, well, this one and actually that other one that was kind of falling over, those are the ones that were further away from the light. So would I top this side too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
both of them, the two of them.
Okay, and then put it back in the veg tent.
Yep, and just veg it for at least a couple of weeks after that for all the branches to start growing.
Okay, and then can I just take these and the ones that I clip off? Can I clone those?
Oh yeah, yep.
So, and those are like thick branches. I mean, those are like half the size of my pinky. I've never cloned something that big before. Huh. Okay. Well, I guess there's a first time for everything, right?
Yep.
Okay. So I have projects to do, I guess, in the next few days before coming back on. And then I think last time we were on, you even said that I could start topping these, and I hadn't started topping those because I went back to work and got busy. So,
yeah.
But I think, wow, okay, yeah, I'm gonna need to get a bigger tent. I think if I'm gonna be doing this on a regular basis. Or I mean, so where do you have yours in tents at where you're growing, or do you have them in a room?
No, it's in a room. I have a veg room that's separate from my flower room.
So a door that completely shuts between a veg room and it's not just tents.
Yeah, no tents.
Okay, they don't even share the same room. Okay. I mean, I might want to consider making this room into some bringing the plants out and having lights out here. So maybe that'll be future talk is, how do I get my room set up?
Yeah, you're doing good with the space you have, though.
Okay.
Like you could even, if you wanted to, you could have both rooms flowering, both tents flowering. You could just flip the lights on the other one, and then you'd have two rooms flowering.
Oh, okay. And they would just be kind of a staggered flower because I wouldn't be harvesting them both at the same time because they'd be that much behind. Because, my other ones are 3 and 4 weeks. No. Yeah, 3 and 4 weeks, I think my flower tent is. And then I'm going to spin around and bring you over to... So, I mean, I do have some stuff outside of the tent as well. So it's not like I'm wasting space in the room. But so these are an assortment of things going on here. So this is a transplanted clone that I had taken off of Tanya OG. These are also transplanted clones from Tanya OG, but they're smaller. They were taken at a later time when I was clipping her. And let's see. And these These were the seeds I planted on the full moon, April 7th.
Hey, Jodi.
And I think, yeah.
So Dan in the audience is saying that if you own your home, that we can build a divider in your room to just turn the room itself into, instead of having tents, you can just have a divider in the room and have your flower and veg separately.
Yeah, and I mean, I do have another room off of this room that I could potentially turn into, but I mean, for the time being, just to be able to separate this into two, just like a divide. I mean, if that's what is necessary to divide it, because like right now, these plants that I'm showing right now are just out in the middle of the room, and I have a couple of lamps on them. I mean, this is my office that I kind of expanded out to. So I mean, I think I would need,
You just need overhead lights. You need overhead fluorescent lights, even shop lights over them.
Okay. Yeah, because
Even
right
in the
now,
same room.
all I have are these clip lamps, that with some grow lights, and then here's another one right here that I have set up. So
yeah,
I mean, it's it's kind of ratchet right now, but I mean,
you'll see the plants are getting a lot lankier under that type of light rather than being like, if you had fluorescent lights, you could put them directly, like almost right on top of all those plants, and it will slow down the growth. The vertical growth.
If I had fluorescent lights on them?
Yeah, above them though. You know what I mean?
Oh, I see.
Because they're stretching for the light because it's on the side. When we go outside, the sun is usually above us. It's not usually like shining at us like headlights.
Oh, then I mean, I can always keep the lights where they are, but then just put the plants on the floor. Right now they're on a tray because I thought I needed them closer to the light. But so you're saying if I get them further away from the light and kind of then direct the light on top where it's looking down.
Yes.
Oh, I'll totally set that up like that. I didn't realize that that's what was causing the lankiness.
Yeah, that causes like phototropism, where like
that's a big word.
It will start growing sideways rather than growing up, and it really stretches it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I grow my stuff, I put my fluorescents are like right on top of the plant, so like there's only like an inch or inch and a half, maybe 2 inches, depending on the strain, that in between each node. So then you end up getting like it really bushy. When it gets lanky like that, it doesn't support a lot of weight on it.
Okay. So I thought that this might have, that this was going to be the strong stalk, and things are going to come off of it, and so the lankiness is not a good thing.
No, I don't like plants that get tall. I like them to be short and bushy.
Okay.
So because they're hard to work with like that. Because now if you top that plant, you should have like a bunch of nodes in there, but it's not going to be. But you can correct it. It's better to have it when the plant is growing really short.
So okay, yeah. So I mean, this one back here looks pretty lanky.
Yeah.
There's definitely lots of space in between the nodes. So is there any fixing that? Because it, would I go 1, 2, 3? Well, this one, even this is still the third one up here. It's still going to be a lot of space. So okay, so that just might be one that doesn't yield a whole lot of.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, this one doesn't look like there's as much space, so.
Yeah, I would just top them all and get the light a little bit more above them,
Okay. So would I top this one like right here, or that?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I'll bring this one back up. This one looks a little bit better even than the last one. There's not as much. It doesn't seem as though would I.
Yeah, on the third one.
Okay, so let's see. So 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
So this one right here.
Yep.
Okay. I'll wait until I have my clippers so I can make a nice clean cut. All right, so that's a good thing to remember for my future, for my future grow. And hopefully those will be, I can, get those corrected and bush out a little bit. And then maybe I'm going to try to get this one into my veg tent real soon, make some room. Her, I injured a little bit when I just transplanted her. I totally was wicked rough and ripped a branch, but I bandaged her, went into my little first aid kit, got her little floral tape to bandage her, and hopefully she'll repair herself.
Yep, sometimes they do.
Okay. Yeah, so that's it. That's where we are so far.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm, definitely I was, every time I come in here, I get more and more excited, just seeing the progress, seeing what's happening. And, I even, did I just lose you? Uh-oh, what did I just do? Nope. No, I know, but I lost you. Wait a second. Can you still see me or can you just hear me?
I can't see you.
Okay, Messenger. No. Zoom. I'm on Zoom. There we go. Okay. Little technical difficulty there. All right, not too bad. Yeah, so I have some projects to do in the next few days. So so just for a review in the flower tent, I was going to, what the hell was I going to do in there? Well, I need to feed them all, but the nitrogen was a little low in the Tanya plant. Do you think just feeding that will?
Yep, that will absolutely. Fine. Yep, it will correct it.
Okay, awesome. And then just snip a few of the leaves that are covering, and around the bottom. And then I think in the veg tent, I'll top those two, the one that's toppled over and the other one, and let those grow a little more and get those into the flower tent. And then what did we say about the other ones? Oh, then I have to also top those.
Yeah, I wouldn't. If you're going to put any of them into flower soon, I would not top them. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because they will need 2 or 3 weeks to heal up and start to have like decent branches to go in there. So okay. if you're going to decide to put 1 or 2 in, don't top that particular one. You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because you'll have to wait 2 or 3 weeks from that point. When you top it, you should wait 2 or 3 weeks for it to heal up, start to grow some nice thick branches, and then you put it into flower.
Okay, so maybe with those 2 that were getting kind of lanky in the veg tent, I'll top those and then bring them all down to the same level, because I think they were getting lanky because they were set like almost a foot lower than the other ones. So yep. That's probably why they were stretching.
Yep.
So maybe that's what I'll do. I'll top those, try to clone those pieces that I chop off, and keep those in the veg for a little while longer.
Yep. Awesome.
All right. I'm so very excited. I mean, it's funny. I used to hate gardening just because at first, I'd buy the plants, plant them outside. They'd look pretty good for the first week and a half. And then, then they died. And I just never had any luck. And I was always so discouraged and disappointed. And I love, I love your encouragement. I love, being able to, produce this. This is awesome. And I love you coming into my grow. So thank you so much.
Thank you. I love being a part of it too.
Yeah.
And Jodi and Nate, thank you guys so much for joining us twice a week and sharing your grow, and Nate for you to share your growing tips. Everyone loves it. You got lots of support in the comments, and we really appreciate it. And thanks for spending part of your Sunday and your Mother's Day with us, guys. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. You're welcome. It was fun.
All right. Well,
always a good time.
Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you guys soon.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Have a good day, everyone. Bye.
Happy Mother's Day, everyone.
Jodi and Nate. They're totally awesome. Thank you guys for hanging out with us today, and thanks to everyone else who has been hanging out and watching the show with us today. We were watching the contest stuff. We really appreciate everyone. We really appreciate everyone participating. And I think we have a winner for today's prize pack.
Oh yeah.
So there was one woman. There was one comment where Monica Beth Veloso was tagged. She's taking care of her 10-year-old son who is dying from a brain tumor, and this is after she had lost a baby to SIDS a few years back. So we want to make sure that she gets today's awesome Mother's Day gift. So congratulations to Monica Beth.
Congratulations, Monica.
And for whoever it was that had tagged Monica Beth, we just need to let Monica Beth know that she can reach out directly to Stacy, because Stacy was the one who sponsored today's. I'm trying to bring it up. It's tough when the stuff ain't tagged up there anymore. But it was Stacy Ann, and so Stacy Ann is Peaceful Potions. She's out of Wareham, Mass. And you can totally call her if you want any of those awesome, the lotion bar or the massage oil or the bath truffle, which is awesome. I'm not a bath kind of person, but I would totally try one of those bath truffles. And thanks to everyone like Heather Marie Brown and Heather Marie, both of our Heather Maries, and everyone else who was hanging out with us today. We really appreciate Eric Schwartz for coming on. That was awesome. And also for Jodi Chapin with Green Nurse on the Grow and May Andrade from Between the Rows coming on. They're awesome. We love you guys. What else? It's been a long show today, huh?
Yep, it's time to go.
Again, special shout out to Peaceful Potions, who was the sponsor for today's Mother's Day giveaway. We really appreciate it, Stacy. And for those of you, I'll just quickly put her contact information over there in the chat, and just in case any of you want to check it out, and she can totally deliver, and so yeah, we appreciate her, and we appreciate Healthy Futures Farms. We are still doing the fundraiser, so if anyone wants to donate, that money is going directly to local farms, where we'll take that produce and then get it to hungry people. And first harvest is coming up, so if you want to donate. And we're doing some awesome prizes, so for every $1 that you donate, we're keeping track of that. And we have some awesome prizes to give away that we're going to do a raffle for. So every buck you get is like another entry. And we also, by the way, Eric, today is Superfriend Scott's last day before he takes off for a bit to go take care of Hunter, who's about to have open heart surgery. So shout out to Hunter, and shout out to Pete, to Scott Pete.
Scotty,
we appreciate you, Scott, and we're gonna miss you for a week or two, and we're gonna try to help to do a little something special while you're gone, and we'll try to hold up the shop, because the show definitely isn't the same, won't be the same without Scott here. And so if anyone, those of you that are still watching, anyone that wants to help out while Scott is gone, we could really use a superfan fill-in. So let us know. We'll hook you up with some special methods to help us out, because Scott does a lot every day. We really appreciate him. And so let's all definitely keep Scott and Hunter in mind, and just send him some positive vibes, so this way Hunter has a successful surgery. I don't know, I think is that it? How you feeling?
I'm tired.
Yeah. I hear you. Your energy pill like wore off, huh?
Oh yeah.
So one last thing before we go, because somebody did point this out. Today is Mother's Day, and so I was trying to make sure I was covering a lot of the different types of moms out there, but I want to make sure that we remember stepmoms and foster moms and adoptive moms and even moms who have lost kids and stuff. And we know that there's some of you out there, a lot of times we sort of have that postcard picture of what everything's supposed to be like, and it's definitely not like that for most people. So we definitely appreciate all the types of moms out there. You mean a lot to us, and not just today, but every day. And sometimes you just need to. We're sorry that it's only one day a year that we're usually shouting all you guys out for being such awesome, dedicated people to the people that you love. So yeah, we love all you guys, and thanks for joining us today. Thanks for everyone who liked and shared the show. It means a lot to us. And also, before we go, shout out to the people like Jodi and Nate and Cheryl and Andrew Muddy and all of the guests that come on the show. It's interesting, like Eric and I don't do this because somehow this show is, good, like the thing we should totally be, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't do this for that. We do this because it makes us feel good to hang out and try to have some fun and to do that with you guys. And so we don't have people on because we need to have people on. We try to do that, I think, because we want to, if you're watching us, we want to share the opportunity for some other people to be able to come on and have the opportunity to talk too. So shout out to all the people that have been guests, and for the people that come on and do awesome stuff, like Jodi and Cheryl and Nate and Andrew, and Vanessa, because we really appreciate that you want to spend some time and share some of your magic with us. And everyone out there, just remember them too. Even though this is Disrupt America, it's really that's just the name of it. It's really it's a growing collaboration of a bunch of people who want to talk about cool stuff and try to, I don't know, have a positive time. I don't know how to put it, but shout out to all those people, because they put in a lot of time and effort, and really we're just trying to do this so that everyone can have a fun time for a little bit every morning. So we appreciate everyone. We appreciate the moms and everyone else out there, and we appreciate Scott, and definitely happy 50th episode, guy. This is it's a milestone, and we definitely wouldn't be doing it without everyone, and that includes all the people that are watching. There would be no reason for us to do it. So I hope everyone has an amazing day. Everyone give Scott some love. We'll see Scott in a couple of weeks. And again, anyone who wants to fill in, you could use your help, because Scott's got some shoes to fill that we can't do during the show. So that's it. I'm done talking. Sorry I dragged it out so long. I just wanted to make sure. Sometimes I don't get to thank people that deserve to get thanked.
You did this shit 50 times. They heard enough thank yous.
I got you.